Josh Hart was just openly recruiting Mikal Bridges on the Roommates show with Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, and we have to talk about this. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video because Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson, as we know, have a podcast, and their first ever guest on the podcast was none other than Brooklyn Nets star and former Villanova Wildcat, Mikal Bridges. Now, we know that Mikal Bridges has three former college basketball teammates in Dante DiVincenzo, Jalen Brunson, and Josh Hart, who he won a national championship with in college before almost getting drafted by the New York Knicks. Ultimately, the Knicks screwed up and chose Kevin Knox over him, but Kevin Knox did have a Fortnite jacket and Mikal Bridges didn't, so I could see why the Knicks did make that choice. Though in retrospect, bad idea. Probably better to pick guys based off successful basketball tenures instead of the fact that they're good at Fortnite. Or maybe not. I don't know. I just know Mitch is good. Not the point. The point here is they had Mikal Bridges on the show, and what happened? Josh Hart obviously recruits him the second he gets a chance. So their third host on the Roommates show, Matt, asked Mikal Bridges if there's ever any FOMO with all of his former national basketball teammates or national championship teammates on the other side of the bridge while he's in Brooklyn. Not only did Mikal Bridges separately say that he knows the Knicks run New York, but also Josh Hart then takes off his jacket and shows what he is wearing while Mikal Bridges is answering the question. And he's obviously wearing a New York Knicks basketball shirt. And he is staring right at Mikal Bridges there. Look, Josh Hart has never been secret about tampering for Mikal Bridges. I don't even know if you'd call it tampering, recruiting, whatever. He does it so out in the open, it's hard to even call it tampering because it's like, is this a joke? No, it's not. Josh Hart just knows that he can get away with this stuff because he's a genuine goofball, and he's using it in his favor to try to recruit Mikal Bridges to the Knicks. Now, I've said this before, there's just no way in hell that Mikal Bridges would rather be on the Nets. If you asked him, hey, with zero repercussions, if you could decide to play for the Knicks or the Nets, who are you playing for? He's obviously saying the Knicks, as are most players on the Brooklyn Nets. Mikal has been open about the fact that Barclays essentially is an away game when the New York Knicks come into town, or well, come across the bridge and come into Brooklyn, because it is still New York City, and the Knicks fans have probably a 95% hold on New York. I mean, I guess the Nets had a moment where like 20% of the city was Nets fans because they had KD, Kyrie, and Harden. Then they lost all of them. All those fair weather fans either went back to being Knicks fans or chose completely different teams whatsoever because they just can't stand the Knicks for some reason, and now they're looking stupid. Now, if we look here, Mikal Bridges did have a not-so-great answer for us Knicks fans. As to answer the question, he said, not really, as saying he doesn't really feel the FOMO, because I still talk to these dudes. You know what helped? It helped that I went to Team USA with y'all. That was kind of good. It was fun. He's not going to say, oh, yeah, I wish I played for the Knicks, man. It sucks that I'm here in Brooklyn. We suck. We're 21-32. We're never going to get better. No one cares about us. We don't even have fans in our city. Like, there's no way that Mikal Bridges wants to be on the Brooklyn Nets right now if he could just be on the Knicks. So obviously, he's not going to say that, even if it's true. But it is a pretty good sign because he is a free agent and not too long into the future. And also, the Knicks could try to pull off a trade for him, though I don't exactly know if that would happen with the Brooklyn Nets. I feel like they would just be like, nah, it's too ugly to watch Mikal in a Knicks jersey. We're not doing that. Now, obviously, this is not the first time that Josh Hart has done this, as in an article from a little while ago, Bobby Marks essentially proposed that the Knicks trade for Mikal Bridges, and essentially, after Bridges and the Nets lost a game in Barclays Center to the Knicks, he called it a road game, and then Josh Hart, after seeing that clip, quote tweeted it and said, call me. So, look, Josh Hart is going to keep doing this stuff. He's done it before this also. He just does it whenever he gets the chance to try to recruit Mikal Bridges. Him and Mikal are friends, and he's just going to do that to Mikal Bridges. It's one of his best friends. It's one of his closest friends in New York. He's obviously going to keep messing with him. One, because he probably finds it funny just to mess around with his friend. And also, too, because he genuinely would rather Mikal Bridges play on the Knicks with him as he wants to play with his friend. We've seen friends team up all the time. I mean, LeBron and Dwayne Wade, they were friends for a while. They were good friends with Bosh and Melo. It was initially LeBron, Wade, and Melo who were supposed to go to the Heat. Melo takes the extra year in his contract. LeBron and Wade opt out. They become members of the Miami Heat. They get Chris Bosh, also their friend. And that forms a team. There was so much noise about R.J. Barrett and Zion Williamson and Cam Reddish finding their way to play together. RJ and Cam were both on the Knicks, and what we saw was a spike in Zion Williamson rumors. Now we're in a different situation where we have a bunch of players from Villanova, and the second best one is on a different team, while numbers 1, 3, and 4, and 5 to a degree for Ryan Arcidiacono, because I know he's not on the Knicks anymore, guys, but he's not signing anywhere other than the Knicks. He's going to sign again in free agency anyway. He's not going anywhere. He's going to stay a Knick. So I'm counting him as an honorary Knick for right now because I'm going to guess that he's just still living in New York because he knows what's going to happen. He knows he's coming back again. So if the Knicks can get Mikal, they can fill out the Nova Knicks. They can complete what they've been trying to do because they get that era of Villanova players, some of whom, like Jalen Brunson, won 2 national championships there. I'm really, really of the mindset that it's just not going to happen through a trade, though it's obviously possible that it could. Now, before we get into the trade talks, let's just look at Mikal Bridges' numbers, because he's obviously had quite the career. I mean, started off as a really good defender, mainly a 3-and-D guy that was rookie year. He's mainly just a defensive player. He started to improve his shot a little bit, and then eventually becomes second in Defensive Player of the Year voting one year. He was obviously very close to winning it, while also putting up 14 points per game and shooting at basically 40% or 37% from 3. Sorry, the numbers are small, and my eyesight is only so good. Then he gets traded to the Nets halfway through the next year and averages 26.1 points per game with the Nets in that 27-game stretch. Before this year, averaging nearly 22 points per game while shooting 45% from the field and 37% from deep. But something to note there is the fact that it is going to be harder for Mikal Bridges to score as the main guy on offense. Whereas on the Knicks, if they kept Julius Randle and obviously Brunson's not going anywhere, Mikal would become the third option and also form the best wing defending duo between him and OG Anunoby, and the Knicks would probably have a very similar vibe to the 04 Pistons and could certainly win a championship like that. And there is a way that this works up financially, as if we look here, the Knicks can get Bojan Bogdanovic's contract next year. They're going to opt into it because they need it for a trade or just to have Bojan because he's a good scorer. But the Knicks could offer Bogdanovich, who'd be on an expiring deal to the Nets, who could then flip him for more assets, while also getting 4 first-round picks from the New York Knicks, one of them being a pick swap, where the Nets get the better swap, obviously. And I could definitely see this being a move that the Knicks would totally accept. I don't think the Nets would just because it's the Knicks, though this would be a great trade for them as they get 4 draft picks and they're going to get something for Bogdanovich, and they would be able to kind of do a rebuild despite the fact that their picks are weird. They could kind of base it off when Houston is playing. Obviously, Houston's going to have to be bad, and they're probably not going to stay bad for that much longer, but you never know. They kind of just need to bank on that, because Houston tried to trade for Mikal Bridges and give the Nets all their picks back, but the Nets said no because they're stubborn and a bad front office. And really, I just want Mikal Bridges on this team. I think he fits perfectly. I think his shot creation is great for a third option. I think he's a tremendous defender. He arguably wouldn't even be the best defender in the Knicks starting 5 between OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson also being there. The Knicks would just be such a perfect team for Mikal Bridges to join. And I hope the Knicks try to work it out and get that done. Comment down below if you agree that you would want Mikal Bridges on this team. Do you think a trade like that, like Bogdanovich and 4 firsts, 1 being a pick swap, is that a good move for the Knicks? Is it a good move for the Nets? Let me know in the comments what y'all think. I'll see you on the next one. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Have a good day, and go Knicks.